Okay, hi vinyl community. This is the third part, or part 3 of my roundup of the records that I'd collected in the second half of 2015. I'm going to try and pick up the speed a little bit here now, because I've noticed in the last 2 sections of this I haven't covered much ground. So for this I'm playing an album by Tim Weisberg, or Weisberg, I don't know how you pronounce it, I think Weisberg probably. It's called Hurtwood Edge. Interesting, he plays the flute, and it's sort of this sort of jazz rock fusion. Interesting listen. What can I say more about that really? It's just, I'd never heard of him before. I picked this up at a garage sale in the States. Probably a bit loud actually, I'll turn it down a bit. Okay, I'm going to show this record now. This is in wonderful condition. I bought this in Sweden at probably Sweden's largest, or at least one of the largest thrift store chains, called Myra. You're going to S will know what that is. It's what was it now? Salvation Army, and they have sort of quite widespread stores of used things, and they have records. I got lucky one day and come home with a big batch of records, including this one. So this is by a Swedish artist called Marie Salander, and the album is called Från den svenska vildmarken. So directly translated, that means from the Swedish wilderness. And she's quite an interesting artist, because she, how would you say, she's quite, this is the sheet of lyrics inside. I'm trying to tell you about her. She's a bit like an activist type person. And in Sweden, in the late 60s and in the 70s, they had this sort of rock movement, pop movement in Sweden, which they called progressive, but it doesn't mean progressive as in terms of like prog, as in like Yes and Genesis and Pink Floyd. It means prog in terms of, well, the whole movement was really about trying to be against the commodification of art. This is on a label called Music Nätet, Waxholm. Waxholm is a place in Sweden. So the whole point of this movement that she was sort of representative of was this, yeah, that music was sort of for the people, of art was for the people, and yeah, it was being kind of sucked up by huge corporations and sold to people for lots of money and that sort of thing. So this movement was all against that. I would go as far as to say that this record is possibly one of those ones which I could say that nobody else in the vinyl community on YouTube has. This Mylan Puppies contest thread thing about having records that perhaps nobody has. This may be one of those. There may be some Swedes that maybe have this, but I doubt it. Maybe I'll do a needle drop of this sometime. It's quite unique. Okay, my next album. I bought this in the States, in California, by Mountain. Nantucket Sledge Ride. Quite happy with the condition of this, what I paid for it. I think it's got somebody's name written in it, but otherwise it's a lovely record. There's a track on here Anyone from the UK will know. Oh, it's quite a nice label too. Windfall. There's a track on here, the actual title track, Nantucket Sledge Ride, was used as the theme music for a documentary news programme in the UK. Can't for the life of me think what it was called now. I'll put a little tag here. And that track in itself is quite out there. It's quite proggy, and you'd assume through listening to that track that they're a great prog band, but they're not. They're more of a sort of hard rock and roll style band. But that one track is sort of quite extensive, quite complex. For the better part, it's instrumental. So I would be interested to find out if Mountain did more music of that style. I don't know much about them. Pick this up. Gotta have this. The Alarm. Strength. Brilliant record. And of course the Welsh. Welsh you can be. For anyone that doesn't know anything about the Alarm, they would fit sort of quite comfortably alongside sort of the earlier U2 style, anthemous rock music, so it's sort of post-punk, new wave. I don't really like that phrase very much, but an interesting little tidbit of information. They used to be called, before they become big, they were called Alarm Alarm, and at the time there was other bands that were kind of in the pop sphere, like Talk Talk and Duran Duran, having this sort of double name, so they changed their name from Alarm Alarm to just Alarm. There you go, that's trivia. This is a lovely earthy record, very happy to have this. This is Donovan in concert. So it's Donovan live. I think I said before, I've got a lot of time for Donovan. Love his music. A little sheet inside. It's like a letter from Donovan. What can I tell you? Yeah, it's got his sort of hits. You can just imagine him sitting on the stage, cross-legged on the floor, doing his thing. It sounds absolutely lovely. Rare Earth. I said in one of my, I think my previous video about learning about these from my father-in-law. This album has a track on it called Ma. And my father-in-law said, Ma, there was a period of time, he said, when he listened to that he listened to that track at least once a day for the longest period, because he was kind of hooked on it.